May we request everyone to kindly settle down. The program is about to start in 2 minutes. Thank you. Good afternoon to our distinguished guests and partner agencies who are joining us in today's engagement. Welcome to the Department of Budget and Management.
To formally start with our program, let us all stand for our opening prayer, to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Manalangin tayo. Panginoong Diyos, itinataas namin ang iyong pangalan. Pinapupurihan at pinasasalamatan ka namin sa lahat ng iyong mga ginawa at pagpapala. Salamat sa panibagong araw na ipinagkaloob mo sa amin. At sa oras na ito na kami ay muling natipon. Gabayan ninyo po kami sa aming mga gawain. Bigyan mo po kami ng talino at lakas upang magampanan po namin ang aming mga tungkulin. Buksan mo po ang aming isip at puso sa mga bagong kaalaman na aming matututunan. At nawa ay maging kagamit-gamit ang mga ito sa aming buhay at sa pagtulong sa aming kapwa. Ikaw po nawa ang maluwalhati sa lahat ng aming katagumpayan sa araw na ito. Ito lamang po ang aming dalangin sa pangalan ni Jesus. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
You may now be seated. Good
afternoon
afternoon to all of us and Mabuhay DBM. Mika, this afternoon we are proud to witness a product of the collaboration, hard work, and dedication of the Department of Budget and Management, the Civil Service Commission, and the Governance Commission for Government-Owned and Controlled Corporations. The ceremonial signing of the Joint Circular on the Rules and Regulations of the Grant of Night Shift Differential Pay to Government Employees.
That's good news, CJ. And this collaboration aims to recognize the efforts of our government employees who are working tirelessly to provide service to the Filipino people. This goes to show na nakikita tayo ng ating pamahalaan.
Tama ka dyan, Mika. But before we proceed with our program, let us acknowledge our government partners and officials who are present here today. From the Department of Budget Management, let us give a warm round of applause to our beloved and lovely Secretary, Amenah F. Pangandaman. We have Chief of Staff, Attorney Leo Angelo Larsha, Undersecretary Goddess Hope Libiran, Undersecretary Wilford Will Wong, Undersecretary Maria Francesca Del Rosario, Chief Economist Dr. Joselito Basilio, our Assistant Secretaries, ASEC Aquiles Gerard Bravo, ASEC Rolando Toledo, and ASEC Gerard Maula.
From the Civil Service Commission, we have with us this afternoon, of course, Chairperson Karlo Nograles. Joining us also this afternoon are Commissioners Attorney Ryan Alvin Acosta, Attorney Real Ronquillo, Acting Assistant Commissioners Attorney Judith Dongalio Chicano, and Acting Assistant Commissioner Nerissa Cangilan. For the Governance Commission for GOCCs, we have with us Chairperson Justice Alex Quiroz. Joining Chairperson Quiroz is Attorney Gideon D.V. Martel.
And to formally welcome us in today's event, let us give a warm round of applause to the Functional Group Head of the Local Government and Regional Operations Group and concurrent Functional Group Head of the Organization and Systems Improvement Group, Undersecretary Wilford Will Wong.
A warm round of applause.
For Yusek Wong.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our DBM Secretary, Secretary Mina Pangandaman, and other senior officials, Senior Civil Service Chairperson Karlo, Alexei, Nograles, and other Civil Service Commissioners and officials, GCG Chairperson Justice Alex Quiroz and their commissioners. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I would like to welcome everyone who are with us today to witness this historic ceremonial signing of the Joint Circular on the Rules and Regulations on the grant of night shift differential pay to government employees. As you may all know, government workers were not included to those who are entitled to night shift differential pay. The exclusion may be due to a number of reasons, but the common notion that government officers only operate from morning to late afternoon is far from true. Notwithstanding the fact that the office itself only operates for a limited number of hours during the day, does not mean that the government employees who cause such office to operate ceases. Behind the scenes of closed-door offices and in the spirit of public service, government employees give so much of themselves even in the wee hours of the night in spite of the absence of night differential pay. It is with pride and honor that the DBM has spearheaded, together with the Civil Service Commission and GCG, the signing of this Joint Memorandum Circular. This will change and impact the lives of every government employee entitled to this arrangement. The signing of this joint circular will alleviate the financial difficulties that every employee is entitled, but more importantly will also uplift their morale and remind everyone that your efforts in making the government fully operational is never ignored. We have one way or the other have leveled the playing field to those employees who truly deserve to be entitled to this night shift differential pay. Once again, good afternoon at maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Yusek Wong, for that wonderful message. But before we proceed to the highlight of this event, we would like to acknowledge the presence of Attorney Geraldine Marie Berberabe Martinez from the Governance Commission for GOCCs. Good afternoon, Attorney.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. And we would also like to acknowledge the presence of the senior officials of the Department of Budget and Management, the Civil Service Commission, and the Governance Commission for GOCCs for gracing today's engagement. At this juncture, we will now witness the highlight of today's engagement, the ceremonial signing of the joint circular on the rules and regulations of the grant of night shift differential pay to government employees. May we request our secretary to assist our principals in front. We are now witnessing the signing of this document that would definitely change the landscape of the way we deliver service in Philippine government.
Yes, and this event also is a testament na talagang na-appreciate ng ating government yung serbisyo na binibigay ng bawat empleyado para matugunan ang mga pangangailangan ng bawat Pilipino. So this is really a big event. The joint circular on the rules and regulations of the grant of night shift differential pay to government employees has officially been signed.
Let's give each other a warm round of applause, everybody. And congratulations to our partner agencies in the Civil Service Commission and the Governance Commission for government-owned and controlled corporations for making this possible. At this moment, may we request our participants from the Department of Budget and Management to be in front for a short photo op. Officials from the Department of Budget and Management.
And officials also from the Civil Service Commission. But before that, may we take the photos of our chairperson from the Civil Service Commission, our Secretary of the Department of Budget and Management, and the Chairperson for the Governance Commission for GOCCs. May we request our principals to please stand up for the photo. So much. Now, we are requesting the officials
of the Department of Budget and Management to please be in front for our photo opportunity. But yes, well, yes, sorry.
Requesting our principals to please stay. You will be joined by the officials from the Department of Budget and Management,
the Civil Service Commission, and the Governance Commission for government-owned and controlled corporations. We would also like to acknowledge the presence of Assistant Secretary Clarito Magsino. May we request the presence of our officials from the Civil Service Commission to kindly join our principals in front for a short photo op. At this point, may we call on our partners from the Governance Commission for Government-Owned and Controlled Corporations to join our principals for a short photo op. We would also like to acknowledge our media partners who are joining us today to communicate the good news to the Filipino people. We would also like to thank and acknowledge the presence of the Philippine Information Agency National Capital Region Director, Sir Enver Cortez, for gracing today's event. Again, maraming salamat po sa Department of Budget and Management, the Civil Service Commission, and the Government's Commission for Government-Owned and Controlled Corporations for making this good and positive change possible. Palakpakan po natin ang ating mga sarili.
Again, isang malakas na palakpakan naman po. This event deserves a warm round of applause. At this juncture, let us hear the message from the Civil Service Commission headed by Chairperson Karlo Alexei B. Nograles. Again, a warm round of applause for Chairperson Nograles.
Maraming salamat. Una sa lahat, binabati ko po ang ating butihing Department of Budget and Management Secretary, Amenah Pangandaman, na naging kasama ko in previous capacities namin and in previous. At binabati ko rin po ang ating Governance Commission for GOCCs Chairperson, Justice Quiroz, na siya po ang boss ng misis ko. At boss ng maraming mga GOCCs din po. To our distinguished guests, undersecretaries, assistant secretaries, commissioners, esteemed members of the media, fellow civil servants, to everyone here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, maayong hapon kanatong tanan. We have come together for this ceremonial signing of the joint circular on the rules and regulations on the grant of night shift differential pay to government employees, pursuant, of course, to Section 3 of Republic Act number 11701, or an act granting night shift differential pay to government employees, including those in government-owned or controlled corporations, and appropriating funds therefore. This collaborative effort And I would like to, in behalf of Commissioner Ryan, Commissioner Eileen, our ASCOMs and directors for the Civil Service Commission, like to thank you for this collaborative effort with the Civil Service Commission, the DBM, and the GCG, because it's really an important step in truly recognizing and appreciating the hard work of our night shift civil servants. With the circular, we reaffirm our commitment to fostering a fair and equitable work environment in government. This policy aims to uplift the well-being of our government employees and ensure that their efforts during the night shifts are justly rewarded. By providing fair compensation through the NSDP, we show our deep appreciation for their service and motivating them to continue their unwavering commitment to public service. I want to take this moment to not just recognize the efforts of our night shift workers, but most importantly, to thank them for their unwavering commitment to public service during the late hours, often in challenging circumstances, and even our experience with the COVID-19 pandemic taught us that. It is a privilege to stand here and acknowledge their tireless dedication to serving our nation, ensuring that essential services of government are provided round the clock. Saludo po kami sa inyong lahat. Talaga nga namang hindi matatawaran ang inyong mga sakripisyo upang matugunan ang pangangailangan at mabigyan ng dekalidad na serbisyo publiko anumang oras, ito man ay sa gabi. Kaya salamat po sa inyo. I would also like to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the individuals and agencies involved in the formulation and the drafting of this joint circular. Your resoluteness and your collaborative spirit have been instrumental in shaping a policy that aligns seamlessly with our vision of a progressive and inclusive civil service. With this joint circular, we aim to widely disseminate the guidelines on the grant of night shift differential pay to qualified government employees to ensure uniform policy interpretation and, of course, an effective and efficient implementation thereof in the public sector pursuant to RA number 11701 and its implementing rules and regulations. So as we move forward, let us stand united in our commitment to implement this policy with utmost diligence and transparency. Together, we can create an environment where the contributions of our night shift workers in government are recognized, inspiring even greater dedication and excellence in public service. May this ceremonial signing stand as a testament to our shared commitment to forge a service that remains responsive, resilient, and unwavering in its dedication of our beloved nation. Once again, on behalf of the CSC, we'd like to thank DBM for hosting this very, very important event. Of course, GCG for being our very active partner in the service of our nation. Again, my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for gracing this momentous occasion. Muli, isang mapagpalang hapon po sa ating lahat. Mabuhay ang serbisyo publiko.
Daghang salamat, Chairperson Karlo Nograles. I'm sure it means a lot to our night shift workers to be acknowledged and to be given just compensation for their hard work and sacrifices. This will surely inspire them to work harder.
That's right, Mika. And I agree with what Chairperson Nograles said, to create a progressive civil service working environment for our government employees. At this point, we continue with our program and let us hear from retired Justice Alex Quiroz, Chairperson of the Governance Commission for Government-Owned and Controlled Corporations, for his message of support. Let's give him a warm round of applause.
Salamat po. Good afternoon, Secretary of DBM, Amenah Pangandaman, Chairperson of the Civil Service, Karlo, Nograles. Buti hindi ako nagkamali. Buti hindi ko nasabing Marga. And my two commissioners, Attorney Gideon Mortel and Attorney Martinez. GCG family, fellow public servants. We are gathered here today to witness the byproducts of collaborative efforts of civil service, DBM, and GCG efforts which harmonize and standardize the rules and regulations governing the grant of night shift differential pay for government employees who perform their functions beyond the regular office hours. Ladies and gentlemen, we can all agree that providing proper compensation is a fundamental human right. The enactment of RA 11701, which institutionalizes the grant of night shift differential in public sector, is a welcome development para sa ating mga kawani ng gobyerno. Isa sa mga direktiba ng ating Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ay pangalagaan ang kapakanan ng sambayanang manggagawa sa bansa. Indeed, the night shift differential pay is a much-deserved benefit for the employees, heavily relied upon by the government to keep its operations running beyond the ordinary operating hours. On behalf of the GCG, I congratulate the hardworking men and women of DBM and CSC for the speedy crafting of the implementing rules and regulation of RA 11701. We are grateful to be part of this endeavor, and we are always open and willing to collaborate with you on matters aimed to improve the delivery of services to the Filipino people. Again, congratulations. Mabuhay ang kawaning Pilipino. A pleasant day to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, GCG Chairperson Quiroz, for that message. And it is very much important to have a government that has compassion and empathy to its government workers.
And tama nga naman si Chairperson Quiroz, no? Deserve ito ng ating mga government employees. So now, ngayon naman, it's about time to hear the message of our beloved and ever-gorgeous Secretary of the Department of Budget and Management. Kaya naman, let's all welcome and give her a warm round of applause, Secretary Amenah F. Pangandaman.
Ever gorgeous, Civil Service Commission Chairperson Karlo Nograles, Governance Commission for Government-Owned and Controlled Corporation Chairperson Retired Justice Alex Quiroz, fellow public servants, guests, ladies and gentlemen, a rainy but beautiful and meaningful afternoon to all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Public service, while heartwarming and fulfilling, is never easy. Hindi po ito para sa mga mahihina ang loob, balat sibuyas o pusong mamon. Public service is a thankless, I always say this, and challenging job that requires passion, sacrifice, dedication, and an unbending spirit. Once in a while, as I get to reflect on my public service journey, I still feel a bit of surprise and amazed on how I was able to last this long. Wala po yung biro. Dahil kung iisipin, hindi po madaling maging public servant, lalo na kung pag-uusapan natin ang trabaho dito sa DBM. Sakto po, kakatapos lang namin ng aming budget preparation. I know that almost all of our DBM officials and employers here would. Sa Saan ka makakakita na ang meeting hanggang alas 4 ng umaga ng madaling araw, tapos sasabak ka na uli kinabukasan ng alas 7 or alas 8. Believe me, we do that here, but for us, it's already a part of who we are. Maraming mga opisyal at empleyado dito na hindi na po nakakapagbakasyon kasama na kanilang anak tuwing summer. Kasi kasagsagan po iyon ng budget preparations. Bawal po muna ang bakasyon. Trabaho muna. So I completely understand why some people are saying to be in public service, one has to be truly an immortal. And so today, I am thrilled to be part of another important milestone that recognizes the hard work, sacrifice, and dedication of our government workers, who in the name of public service are extending all the help they can give to the Filipino people 24/7. The milestone I am referring to is, of course, the Republic Act number 11701, an act granting night shift differential pay to government employees, including those in government-owned and controlled corporations occupying positions or items of division chief and below or their equivalent. Through RA 11701, those with working hours falling between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. of the following day will be fittingly compensated for their time and efforts. This is your government appreciating all of you, our modern-day heroes who are going the extra mile and working longer hours out of their sheer sense of public service and are greatly contributing to the reactivation of our country. Your presence in your respective workplaces, whether you are a public health personnel, HR manpower, engineers, IT professionals, or laborers working on infrastructure projects in whatever jobs you keep in the usual and unusual hours, we thank you for giving the flame of public service burning and going. In return, this government wants to assure you, too, that it is just for all of you to be taken care of. The Civil Service Commission, in coordination with the DBM, promulgated the implementing rules and regulations of RA 11701, which took effect on February 25, 2023. Today's signing of the joint circular with CSC Chairperson Nograles and GCG Chairperson Justice Quiroz will ensure that the guidelines on the night differential is widely disseminated and guarantee its uniform policy interpretation and effective and efficient implementation. Our beloved President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. has always underscored his desire to uplift the well-being of our public servants after the overwhelming sacrifices they made at the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic. At DBM, we support these efforts that aim to safeguard their health and welfare. We recognize the role that our government employees play in our nation's recovery and growth. In January this year, the government paid out the fourth and last tranche of the mandated salary hikes. Meanwhile, under the 2023 General Appropriations Act, around 48 million pesos was allocated under the GCG's budget to support the conduct of a study on the government compensation structure. This is to ensure that the compensation of all civilian personnel will be competitive with those in the private sector. Apart from the conduct of the study, we in the DBM are also undertaking a thorough review of the rates of the existing benefits being provided to government employees in order to assess if there is a need to adjust them in the future. The salary increase and now the night differential are intended to help cushion the daily challenges of living and raising a family. It is my hope that this will inspire my fellow workers in government to continue doing good, to continue serving our country with efficiency, integrity, and full dedication. Thank you and magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. Wabillahi taufiq walidaya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, DBM Secretary Amenah F. Pangandaman.
Like we've said kanina and like what Secretary Amenah have said, may this be a motivation for our government workers to continue their hard work in serving the Filipino people.
Yes, Mika. And katulad nga ng sabi ni Secretary Pangandaman, dito sa DBM, bawal mahina ang loob. So now we will now hear and answer your burning questions from our media partners. May we call in front our Undersecretary for the Media Affairs and Community Relations Office, Undersecretary Goddess Hope Libiran, to moderate our Q&A. Let's give a warm round of applause to you, Sec Libiran.
Good afternoon, Secretary Pangandaman, Chairperson Nograles, and Chairperson Justice Quiroz. Good afternoon also to all those who are attending this momentous event, especially to our friends from the media. So now we will begin with our brief question and answer portion. Ayan, di ba? Okay, so may I just gently remind our friends from the media to prioritize asking questions that are related to the ceremonial signing of the joint circular today. Meron po sa akin nag-submit ng listahan kung sino yung mga magtatanong. Kung maaari lamang po kapag tinawag ko po ang inyong pangalan, pumunta po kayo sa harapan, bibigyan po kayo ng microphone at itanong po ninyo ang inyong katanungan. First question is from Ms. Jumalyn Doctolero of PIA NCR. And her question is directed to DBM. Right, okay.
Okay, so good afternoon po, Jumaling Doctolero. Pa-clarify lang po, are all government, who are the government employees entitled to the night shift differential pay? And what if those working hours falls between the 6 p.m. and 6 a.m., not the mismong time, but like 8, basta ganun po, in between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m.
Okay po. For
So
that
may I
question, po. Si Chairperson po, Nograles po.
Here po. Kaya?
Yes, good afternoon. So if you read the joint circular, this applies to all government employees occupying positions or items from division chief below. So lahat, including GOCCs, yung equivalent ng division chief below, covered nito. So this really covers night shift workers. So dun sa tinatawag na yung 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., bibigyan sila ng night shift differential pay. So mas mataas ang take home nila. Mas mataas ang sweldong bibigay sa kanila because they are in what you call the graveyard shift, kung tinatawag. So this is similar to what happens dun sa private sector. But obviously the private sector covered din sa labor code. Dito, dahil sa batas na ito, nakukover na rin natin ang government workers and employees, division chief, pababa.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair Karlo. Perhaps si Director Gerald Handa of the DBM Organization, Position Classification, and Compensation Bureau can add to that po.
Magandang hapon po. So, as mentioned po ng ating chairperson from the Civil Service Commission, so this will cover po yung ating civilian personnel occupying division chief position at pababa po. And ating pong excluded naman po dito yung ating mga government workers na ang regular working schedule nila po ay nagfo-fall sa the usual working hours in the government na from 8 a.m. up to 5 p.m. po. So, excluded din po dito yung ating mga government employees na part ng ating pong military and uniform workforce. So, since they are are expected to render services po on a 24-hour duty, and yun din pong ating mga contract of service and job order ay excluded po dito sa ating pag-grant ng night shift differential. Thank you po.
Thank you very much, Director Gerald Handa. Next question po is from Mr. Gab Baniked from the Radio TV Malacanang.
Thank you po, Yusek Goddess. My question po is addressed to Secretary Amenah, Pangandaman. On a slightly different topic, ma'am, but relative to employee salaries po. May possibility po ba na tumaas ang salary ng government workers? And pinag-aaralan na po ba ito ng national government, ma'am?
Thank you for that question. In my speech, no, kung napakinggan niyo po, naglagay po tayo ng budget na 48 million para po magkaroon tayo ng study if we are going to implement another salary increase po. So as of now, yung budget po, it's with GCG, and I know that they already started the procurement process. They will siguro soon have the result of the study, maybe sometime September, October. If ever po, dun sa study sabihin na kailangan ng increase, I think we have enough time naman to adjust because yung last quarter naman of the year, that's the budget deliberations eh. So hopefully po, the study will be advantageous and beneficial to the government workers.
Thank you very much, Sec Pangandaman. Next question, Mr. Sam Nielsen of DZBB. Nag-CR?
Magre-report lang po, Yusek. Yung next na po muna magtatanong.
Okay.
Magre-report lang po siya.
Okay. Nagre-report? Nagre-report
Magla-live lang po.
Okay. Next question. Siguro kung wala pa si Sir Sam, nandito naman si Mr. Mark Salazar ng GMA 7.
Saluhin ko na lang si Sam. Yes, Secretary DBM, how much does this law entails? Pag binigyan na po na natin ng night differential, surely you have calculated already kung magkano ang magagastos natin for this law. And my second question is, what is the law's reason for excluding uniformed personnel and yung mga JO and contractuals? Are these because of budget constraint? What's the law's reason for this? Thank you.
Opo. So sa 2023 po, meron pong nakapaloob sa budget natin na 124,349,000 for the purpose. Pero depende po kasi to, of course yung overtime, yung pay ng differential nila for approval yan ng mga head ng agencies nila. And apart from dun sa compensation na money, I know that each employee can also avail of the compensatory time off. Yung CTO po, so kung hindi mo po kukunin na cash, yung CTO, pwede ka pong hindi pumasok na isang araw na equivalent dun sa ilang oras na tinrabaho mo na in-overtime mo. Tama po ba ako? Yes, ganun po yun.
Okay. So as to the exclusion, siguro si Director Gerald of the OPCCB can answer.
With regard po dun sa excluded po natin ng mga contract of service and job order workers po, so govern po sila ng COA DBM Joint Circular Number 2 Series of 2020 as amended po. And circular states po that our COS and job order workers po are entitled to basic salary plus premium of 20%. So meron naman pong mga existing mechanisms na tayo, existing policies po with regard to our contract of service and job order workers po. Thank you po.
Si Chairman.
Yes, Chairman Nograles.
Yes. Doon naman sa exclusion ng mga military, police, and other uniformed personnel, I believe Congress saw it fit na exclude sila because their services are what you consider services na on-call or kailangan because of the nature of their services, which is to protect the public, to serve on-call, yun po naging basis nila for exclusion. So military, actually dito sa circular nakalagay kung sino yung mga excluded, no? At napin ko lang. Nasa Annex B, so Armed Forces of the Philippines, Philippine National Police, Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, Bureau of Fire Protection, Philippine Coast Guard, Bureau of Corrections, and the National Mapping and Resource Information Authority under the DENR. And yun, they're considered excluded because their services are required or considered as on-call 24 hours a day because of the nature of their services na belonging to security, the security and protection of the public.
Thank you, Chair Nograles.
Maiksi na lang po kay,
Okay.
kay Chairman Nograles. May we get the number of JOs and contractuals in the bureaucracy, sir? That's my last question. Thank you.
600,000. More or less 600,000. JOs and COSs. Kasama na yung LGUs doon. In fact, ang bulk yata is coming from the LGUs.
That's 600,000 more or less, including those in the national government agencies and LGUs. Okay? Next question. Dito na yata si Sir Sam. Nandiyan na ba? Wala pa rin? Okay. Si Mr. Mike Rogas from Radio Pilipinas.
Magandang hapon po, Chairman, kay Secretary. Paano po yung computation ng night differential? Let's say, ang isang empleyado, nag-overtime siya, inabot ng gabi, pero hindi niya po natapos yung 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Kasama rin po ba yon sa babayaran sa night differential?
Yes. So, based sa circular, meron tayong mga examples. So, kasama po yan sa examples na nakalagay po dito. First of all, syempre, i-compute muna yung night shift differential. You have to first consider na yung empleyado is nagbe-belong siya sa graveyard shift na tinatawag, quote-unquote, or sa night shift. So, kung kasama siya doon, i-compute mo ano yung night shift differential rate. Una, sabihin natin, kunyari, it's 10% or 20%. I-compute mo muna yung basic niya, how much yung basic niya per hour, tapos i-multiply mo yung 20% or 10%, depending on what the night shift differential is in that agency, malalaman mo kung ilan yung night shift differential pay niya per hour. Tapos, i-multiply mo ng number of hours siya nag-work. Ngayon, kung if it is a fraction of an hour, sabihin natin, nag-render lang siya ng 30, some X number of hours plus 30 minutes, yung 30 minutes is considered 0.5. So yung 0.5 na yun ang i-multiply mo sa hourly differential pay niya plus the number of total hours. So yun yung magiging night shift differential pay niya. Anyway, if you look at the guidelines, nandito po yun sa Annex C. May sample computations po tayo
po.
dito.
Chairman, kailan po yung naging effectivity nito pong batas na ito? At yun po ba yung magiging retroactive?
Actually, to tell you honestly, there are already agencies that have night shift differential pay. Pero naging kanya-kanya. And then, nung pinasa yung batas, last administration, at nagpalabas po ng implementing rules and regulations, naging effective na po yung batas. Pero minabuti po ng DBM, CSC at GCG na gumawa nitong guidelines na ito para meron tayong uniform applicability, magkaroon tayo ng uniform interpretation ng implementing rules and regulations. Pati, we are using this as a way for us to widely disseminate this to all government agencies and most importantly, ang GOCCs na masama na natin very clearly na mga GOCCs covered po dito.
Last question po on my part, Chairman, Secretary. Paano po yung sa local government unit? Usually kasi sinasabi ng mga LGU, teka muna, kapos yung aming budget para dito. Paano po ang magiging sistema po roon?
Kasama po sila. Actually, for the budget, kukunin nila syempre sa budget nila existing budget nila. So with this, we are also emphasizing na even sa LGUs, they have to ensure na kasama na yan sa budget nila. So the first thing that agencies really have to do is determine, number one, to implement it. Number two, i-consult yung mga empleyado at nagkaroon sila ng final determination. Magkano ba yung night shift differential pay sa agency na yan? Ang ceiling po natin is 20%, but for public health workers, hindi bababa dapat sa 10%. But yun po yung dapat nilang gawin. Determine muna ano yung night shift differential pay, identify kung sino yung night shift workers mo, and then implement it using the budget na naka-allocate po sa inyong ahensya and even sa local government unit.
Okay, thank you very much. Daming tanong nun na, 3 yun na. Okay, nandito na si Sir Sam Nielsen ng
Pasensya na
DZBB.
po. Nag-report lang kanina. Ay, kay Secretary Pangandaman, ma'am. Kasi ngayon talagang naririnig na natin sunod-sunod yung mga problema sa kalamidad. At marami na po mga LGUs talaga nag-declare ng state of calamity. Ano po, siyempre pati mga ahensya ng gobyerno natin nagkanya-kanya ng trabaho po, no, para matulungan yung mga nasa lanta po. Meron pa po bang mailalaan na pondo ang ating gobyerno pagdating dito sa kinakailangan tulong dito sa mga iba pang itong mga LGUs natin, ma'am?
Pinakompute po natin yung remaining budget natin. Ngayon lang po. As of July 31, 2023, a total of 8.4 billion pesos has already been released po sa ating NDRRMF fund. And there is still an available balance of around 12 billion pesos that can be tapped po. Tapos po, di ba may NDRRMF po tayo, meron din po tayo mga naka-lodge na QRF sa mga agencies po natin, yung mga first responders, just like DSWD, DA, DPWH. Yun po, of the 20.5 billion na appropriation sa NDRRMF, 30% po nun, or 6.1 billion, can be allocated and used for the replenishment of our QRF. So as of now po, 5.625 billion has already been released po dun sa pondo na yon. At may available pa po tayo na 525 million para po sa QRF. In fact, I know that last week, we just released 800 million, more than 800 million pesos for DSWD.
Ma'am, yung natitirang budget, hanggang kailan yun magagamit?
Hati po to. May breakdown to eh. Meron pong for this year, I think there's may percentage na for this year. Meron din pong may iwan na pwede pa hanggang 2024.
Ayun, ibig sabihin, makakatawid tayo, no? Kahit
Yes po, hopefully po wag nang madagdagan po yung mga yung bagyo. Sana po wala nang dumating. But we still have funding until end of the year and until 2024. And we all know that budget preparations is ongoing. Meron din pong allocation yan for our 2024.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Sam Nielsen. Ngayon, nasusunod na magtatanong. Last 3 questions na lang po tayo, ha? Si Ms. Luella Desiderio. Next po, yung follow-up question ni... natanong na pala. Si Mark Salazar, GMA 7. May question po for GCG Justice Quiroz. And then si Mark Lopez, nandito din po pala, yung from ating social media.
Okay.
Ma'am Luella?
Good afternoon po. My questions are for Secretary Amenah. First, there was a mention on the study on the salary increase. Just to clarify, are there 2 separate studies for it? DBM is doing a separate study. If you can elaborate on that exercise. And second, you are set to submit the proposed 2024 budget tomorrow to Congress, right? If you can just provide us the salient features or the priority sectors in terms of what will be getting the biggest chunk or amount of the proposed budget for next year. Thank you.
Una po, dun sa 2024 budget, may press con din po tomorrow sa HOR. And then there's another press con po from Malacanang on Thursday. And then there's another one on Monday po dito naman sa DBM para we'll be able to provide details po of our proposed 2024 budget. So abangan po natin bukas yung salient features ng ating National Expenditure Program. Yung sa salary increase po, kasi I know that even from way back, pag nagkakaroon po tayo ng proposal to increase our salary, meron po talaga tayong study na kinoconduct muna because we need to have some sort of benchmarking with the private sector and maybe with the private sector po, at saka para po may computation tayo because we know that when we increase the salary, it's not a one-time thing. Parang yung previous salary increase natin, it's 5 years, tama ba ako? 4 years siya. So we want to implement it in tranches. Yung other studies po na ginagawa namin, that one, it's internal to DBM. Ito po yung mga ibang mga benefits and allowances na meron po ang government employees. I can say po, at least for the 2024 proposed budget, may little increase po in terms of yun sa uniform and clothing allowance natin of just minimal 1,000 pesos po. Tapos, ongoing po yung study nila Director Gerard on other allowances. Maybe si Director Gerard can specify the other allowances that under study now.
Director Gerald?
Parallel po dun sa compensation study that is being conducted by the GCG and DBM po, internally, the DBM po is conducting study on the current rates of our different benefits such as those pertaining po sa travel rates, honoraria for our workers, and other benefits po. But as soon as we have completed our study, then we will elevate the matter to our senior officials and to our secretary for policy decision po. Thank you.
Thank you. Sa maliwanag, Luella, yung study for yung review ng compensation structure nasa GCG, yung review ng mga rates for benefits nasa DBM. Okay? Next question, last question. Mark Lopez? GCG ba yan?
Good afternoon, kay Justice Quiroz. Sir, with regards to the impact of this program, ano po kaya ang naging reaction ng mga employees po ng mga GOCC dito sa programa na ito?
Salamat sa tanong. Well, initially, this night differential is a welcome compensation sa mga tao, wini-welcome nila yan. Kaya nga lang, kanina while talking about the uniformed men, such as the police, the army, they are not given that night differential. In addition lang, no? Kasi ang mga police, nagtatrabaho naman sila regular 8 hours. But the problem is the nature of their dedication, such as when a policeman is having a vacation in, say, in Boracay, he could not resist. Should there be any crime being committed in front of him, he will as a policeman, and that's it. So, they always assume uniformed men work 24/7 because they call of nature. However, in the case of GOCC, there are some GOCCs which seems not to be covered by the civil service, non-chartered. Rest assured, the GCG will issue a circular so as they will be equally benefited of this night shift differential. We will study, evaluate whether these employees be entitled to such benefits as it was the law says, the administration says. We have to take care our government employees so as we could serve the Filipino well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, pwedeng last question na lang para kay Secretary Pagdangan.
Kanino po?
Kay Secretary po.
Okay. Sige po.
Ma'am, hindi na po to related sa but
Ay,
yung
naku, Mar.
the recent survey kasi you were number 3 tied with other cabinet officials. Bakit hindi po kayo number 1?
Okay, hindi ko po alam. Survey yon, Sir Mark. Kaya siguro, konting trabaho pa. Baka
Baka
number 1.
pagkatapos po nito, number 1 na. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much. That ends our brief question and answer portion. Thank you, Secretary Amenah, Chairperson Nograles, and Chairperson Quiroz. Back to our hosts.
Again, thank you so much, Undersecretary Goddess Hope Libiran, for facilitating our short Q&A. And again, to our principals, Chairperson Karlo Nograles, Secretary Amenah F. Pangandaman, and Chairperson Alex Quiroz.
Yes, and of course, thank you also to our friends from the media. I hope nabigyan namin ng kasagutan lahat ng inyong katanungan.
Again, as mentioned by Secretary Pangandaman, abangan po natin ang magaganap na National Expenditure Program submission sa Congress tomorrow po as we discuss the salient features of the 2024 national budget. With that, we formally end today's program. Thank you for joining us in this momentous occasion. Palakpakan po natin ang ating mga sarili and maraming salamat po sa ating mga partner agencies mula sa Civil Service Commission, Department of Budget and Management, and the Governance Commission for Government-Owned and Controlled Corporations. This has been your host, CJ Calimbas.
Yes, and let us all remember the efforts of our government to help every Filipino does not end here. Muli, maraming salamat po. At tutukan po natin ang mga kaganapan sa magaganap na pagsumite ng Department of Budget and Management ng National Expenditure Program for fiscal year 2024 bukas sa Facebook page ng Usapang Budget. This has been Micaela Guerra Banyas.
Maraming salamat at mabuhay DBM!